Hello and welcome to Lily's Library. So today we're going to be starting a new reading vlog. I'm going to keep this as short as I can because I've got two books I'm going to be focusing on. I say short, but these books are quite long. One of them especially is really long, and that is Ship of Destiny by Robin Hobb. This is the third and final book in the Live Ship Traders. So this is going to be my main focus for this vlog. I thought it'd be good to go through the entire process of reading this because I think this is going to be a very emotionally devastating book. So I'm excited to read it, but a bit nervous as well. I'm also going to be reading in this vlog R.F. Kuang's new book, Catabasis or Catabasis, however you want to say it. I am very excited for this. My Waterstones signed edition just arrived, so I'm hoping to get to this one soon. But before I can start this, I would like to make more progress on Ship of Destiny. So those two books are going to be my focus for this vlog. I'm not too sure if I'll get to much else. We'll see how we go. I thought it would also be fun to go through and add my entire physical TBR to Storygraph. Storygraph has a feature where you can mark books as owned, and then it can tell you what percentage of books you have read and haven't read. So I thought it would be a good way to go through and categorize all of the books I own. So it might be a bit difficult whenever I've got double up, so I'm going to try and add the different editions because you can do that. So if we look at the books I've got in here at the moment, it says there is 396, which is definitely a good percentage of them. I might go through and remove the ones I've unhauled because I no longer own them, but we'll see. It does tell me somewhere how much of this I have read and how much I haven't. I'll just try and find out. Okay, so in here we have got a 75% read. I don't know if you can see this. We've got 75% read, 24% unread, and 1% that I have DNF'd. So I'm going to go through my entire bookshelf and we are going to look at the ones I own and add them to this list, and also probably go through the list once it's done and remove the ones that I no longer own. So yeah, for some reason, we've got two copies of like A Dowry of Blood in here because one's the audiobook and one's like the physical book. So I'm going to go through and fix that up. I think as well when I was importing things, some things got messed up. So I will go through and, oh yeah, I can see already a few books in here that I've read that I no longer own because I unhauled them. So yeah, to start with, we are going to go through these two shelves behind me. I've got another shelf over there in the lounge room, and then I've got a smaller shelf upstairs in my bedroom. So I'm going to go through all of those books and the books I have scattered around. There's a few on the table here in front of me, but yeah, I thought it'd be fun to go through and check them all, and we're going to do that together now. We are going to start with my horror shelf up here. So we're going to go through left to right, and I'll go and categorize all of these books. This will probably be a bit boring to look at, so I might speed this up, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so I have officially finished going through all of my books. I'm pretty sure I have got them all. I don't know if there's any I missed. There's like some art books I have, but I don't really count those. So apparently I have got a total of 442 owned books. That's not including some double ups because I can't always put in multiple editions or they're not available on Storygraph and I can't be bothered to add them myself. So we're just going to say it's around 442, which is pretty insane. I didn't think there was that much, and I think there's still some manga and stuff upstairs that I haven't added and might have to go back another time to add. But when we look at the percentage, we have got 67% are read, yeah, and 33% are unread. That's 32% being unread and then 1% that are DNFs that I'm gonna probably go back to. That's why they're still on here. But that's pretty good, I would say. Like, for having more than 400 books and having unread, only like 30 something percent of that. That is pretty good. So if I was to go back and look at how many unread ones I have, so it's 145 unread books that I have got. That's 142 unread and then 3 that are DNFs that I might actually see if I can go back and change. I think I also need to fix some of the language choices of these because it says that some are in German. It says I've got 1 book in German, which is not right, but I'll go back and change another time. And then Japanese and English. And then it says my most featured authors are V.E. Schwab, no surprise, Cassandra Clare, T. Kingfisher, Robin Hobb, Ali K. Mulford, and Alice Osman, which again, no surprise. And then some of these are digital and audiobooks just because that's how I read them, but I own the physical copy, so I'm just leaving them as is because I can't be bothered to fix them all up. But I'd say that's pretty good. Most of my genre is fantasy as well. Over 200 of them are fantasy books. So yeah, I'm excited to see how I go with whittling down my TBR. You can see here the stats breakdown for it. So you can see that tiny DNF portion. There's only 3 books there. I need to try and go into it and fix it, but it might be easier for me to do that on my computer later. But yeah, that is our count for now. Hopefully we can whittle it down more throughout the end of the year. I've been reading a lot slower this year than I typically would, so I haven't really read as much, and I'm hoping to get to a few more books by the end of the year. So we'll see if that changes. But I'm gonna go to do some reading now. I also need to edit another video, so we'll see how much more stuff I can film tonight. But that was really interesting to go through and count. Would be the perfect time to do a reading update because I am almost 3/4 of the way, more than halfway through They Bloom at Night. I'm really enjoying this. It has taken me a bit longer to read than I thought it would, purely because work this week has been really exhausting and I just didn't really feel like picking up a book after a long day at work, even though this one is really good. But in this we follow Noon, who lives in Mercy. This is this area in the US. I don't remember where it's meant to be, but there has been a really bad storm and a hurricane, I think, or something that has brought upon this really gross red algae bloom that is slowly killing all of the life there. And one day Noon and her mother are tasked by the kind of corrupt leader of this town, who has taken over the town since the government has abandoned them, to try and find this monster or this creature that is taking people and killing them, or they're just disappearing. And their job is to try and find it, but they have a very strict deadline and have to try and find this creature before then. And we kind of follow Noon as all of this chaos happens and something weird is going on with her. I'm really intrigued to see where it goes because I absolutely love books that have weird things to do with sea life and the ocean and bodies of water. I think they're so fascinating and fun and uncomfortable. But this has been very much giving me Our Wives Under the Sea vibes with some of the weird stuff happening there. If you have read it, you would probably be able to tell where some of this book is going, but I'm very excited to read more of it. I also just wanted to quickly chat about something I got in the mail today, and that was my little Skazoo Tamagotchi. So I ended up getting the Dweki one, and I am so in love. It is so cute. I don't know if it's going to focus, but he's currently sleeping. I also got Dweki on the actual Tamagotchi as my little guy to look after, so that makes me very happy. I'm just going to be trying to play this and keep an eye on him. He is snoozing, so I don't have to do too much. But as soon as he stops sleeping, I will have to look after him. But at the moment, I'm not really reading too much. I ended up finishing another book tonight, but that was for a separate video. So I'm gonna chill on the couch, cuddle with my cat who's currently glaring at me, and I might try and read this book because I would love to finish it tonight if I can. I don't have that much left, but we'll see how we go with that. Okay, so I read a tiny bit more of They Bloom at Night. I'm gonna actually try and sit down and finish it now, but the last chapter I read was pretty gnarly and pretty gross. But I am very excited to continue this. I'm still really enjoying it. I really don't have that much left. I think I've got 40 pages, I think. So it shouldn't take me too long to finish it. I'm just gonna sit down now. I just got back from going out to the shop, so we went and got lunch, and then also went to a manga store, which I was hoping to buy something at, but they didn't have what I was after. And then ended up going into Dimmicks, which I forgot to film at, but they had a deal where if you bought 2 or more Viz manga, you got like a discount on them, and then also a free tote bag. So I bought 3 different volumes. Only one of them is not from Viz, so I'll start with that one first. But the first one I bought is volume 2 of the Apothecary Diaries. I read one at the end of last month, and I'm gonna read this one pretty soon as well. I'm just very excited to continue this manga because I really like the anime. I want to get into reading the manga because the next season of the anime doesn't come out till sometime next year, so if I can spend the next few months catching up on it and reading it, then I would like to do that so I can get caught up and have new stuff to read, you know? So I got this one that I'm going to be picking up very soon. Then as for the 2 ones that will get me that got me that free tote bag, the first volume I got is Nana Volume 1. They only had one. There was no other options for it, so I got it. I haven't read this, but my sister has seen I don't know if it's a movie or a series, but she has watched it and has said really good things about it, and I really want to read it as well, so I thought I would read it and then maybe watch it. So I got volume 1 of this one, and then the one that I was very excited about is Freyren. I don't know how to say this, but this is volume 1 as well. This is Beyond Journey's End. I don't know too much about this. I know it's a fantasy one and they're meant to be kind of melancholic, but I've heard really good things about it and it looks really cute, and the anime is meant to be decent too, so I thought I would get the manga for it. That also kind of ties in to what the tote bag was, and it's this little mini one as well for the series that I thought was really cute. It's also like a really good size, so like you can see it fits these in pretty nicely. I like having tote bags, but I don't really use the big ones that much, so I thought this is a good one that I can fold up and put in my bag and take with me. But yeah, I'm, like I said, gonna go and finish They Bloom at Night now. I have something to do for work tonight, so that'll take some time out of my day. So if I can finish it before then, that would be ideal. But we're gonna get into the reading now. Okay, so it's been a little bit since I updated or filmed anything because I really haven't been reading this week, but I did have a very exciting package arrive, so I thought we would open it together and go through it. It is already opened because someone helped me get these copies because I was worried I would miss out, so they joined the pre-sale for me because they had access and picked them up, and they wanted to check that they're not damaged. So we're going to open them and I'll show you them because I'm so excited. I've been seeing so many people get theirs and I've been so jealous, and I'm going to rearrange my shelves and make them fit, but I'm so excited. Oh my god, this is so heavy. If you can kind of already see through the bubble wrap what this is. This is so pretty. Oh my god. The edges, the back of it. Oh, fits. We've got beautiful art on the naked hardcover. I didn't say what this was, but this is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. So this is the Illumicrate editions of the Farseer trilogy, and they are just absolutely stunning. Very beautiful artwork here as well on the end papers. I think it's different. It is. Oh my god, fits. This is so nice. I don't remember if these are meant to be signed. I don't think they are. I'm so happy to have these. Okay, let me open the other two and we can look at all of them. This is massive. Jesus Christ. These are absolutely stunning. They are also so heavy. Just look at the size of these. Oh my god, they look amazing. I'm going to do a bunch of close-ups of these because I don't think I can show them off properly by just holding them up. But these are absolutely stunning. I love the art inside. There's just so much beautiful stuff. So all of them have got art on the back, front and back of the dust jacket, as well as also art on the hard print, on the hardcover themselves that looks absolutely beautiful. I think the Assassin's Quest one is my favorite purely because we've got the bear on it and it just looks so cool. We've also got end papers on all of them that have got different characters from all of the books. We've got ones with like the Fool and the King, and then we've got lots with Fitz, obviously. I won't show you the last one in Assassin's Quest because it is a bit spoilery, but oh my god, they look absolutely beautiful, and the ones with Fitz and Night Eyes are just so adorable, and I'm so glad I finally have these. These are absolutely stunning. They've also got sprayed edges that all match up when you set them up, but I'm gonna go and try and rearrange my shelves and fit them on there now and make room to display them properly in all of their glory, but they are so beautiful. Excuse my hair, I've got hair oil and trying to fix it, but I have been reading a bit more of Ship of Destiny today. I'm just shy of 400 pages. I'm hoping to get to page 502 by the end of tonight, or chapter 21, which is Paragon of the Ludlux. I might end up reading that one, depending how I feel, because just reading the title of that makes me really interested to know what it's about, because I have my theories about Paragon, but I am really enjoying this. This is getting very tense and I'm just really getting into it, but I really am intrigued to see where this all goes. This is just going to be such a whirlwind of a book. I can already tell that this is going to be a real roller coaster, and there's going to be so many emotions and thoughts and feelings, and it's going to be a tough but good read. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to continue reading this evening and try and get past page 500. I have a video I need to go and edit, so we'll see how long that takes me, and then I'd like to really try and get up to there tonight, because I would like to finish this book in the next week. It is currently September 21st, so we will have to see how I go. I might talk about some of my thoughts and feelings of this book and some of my theories, so if you haven't read this yet, I would skip ahead a bit to where I'm not talking about this. I'll try and put a timestamp below if I can remember, but I'm really enjoying this. I've had my kind of thoughts and inklings about Paragon and Paragon's role in all of this. So Paragon is one of the live ships, and he's obviously clearly Igrot's, I don't know how to say it, but this old pirate's boat. He is the live ship that this pirate took and controlled. And I think that Kennet, the pirate that we follow throughout all of these, is actually one of the sons of the Ludlux, and that Paragon is his family ship, and that's how Igrot, or this other pirate king, could kind of take control of the ship, and why Kennet was kept there. And I think we're going to find out that very soon when we get to Paragon and the Ludlux chapter, because so much has been happening with Paragon since they got to Divvy Town and on their journey there, and the things that he's been talking about. Like, he clearly remembers that he used to be a dragon and a serpent, and that is who he is, but he's now stuck as this live ship. So that's obviously a lot of his trauma and where a lot of his issues come from, but also being kept as a pirate ship and the stuff that he witnessed and felt during that time when Igrot did have control of him and was using him to pirate. So I think we're definitely going to be uncovering that stuff soon. It also seems that we're going to be getting very close into making a deal with the only dragon that still exists. I don't know how to say her name. Tintaglia, I think, but I really hope we find that out soon, because as soon as though Tintaglia and the Bingtown people pair up and make a deal and a bargain, I know things are going to go so insane, and we're going to finally get into some of the big conflicts. But I'm just really excited to see where this goes. There's so many little things I've been loving, like some of the scenes with Brashen and Althea. I just absolutely adore them as a pairing, and I really just want them to have a nice time, but I know, seeing as this is Robin Hobb, that's not how these books are gonna go. I also feel I'm so nervous for what's going to happen with Malta now that she's stuck with just the satrap and not the companion as well, and that she's on a chaliced ship. I'm just very nervous about what's going to happen to her, and I honestly just want to go back to her being a whiny little kid, because that was so much more easier to accept than what I think is going to happen to her. So I'm very nervous about that, but I'm intrigued to keep reading this. It sounds like it's going to be so good, but I'm so nervous. I'm just shy of halfway. I think this is a 900-page book, so I'm going to try and, if I can get up to page 500 tonight, I'd like to try and read a chapter or two every night for the next week, and then I can finish it on the weekend. But I'm going to be dedicating as much time as I can to this, so I'm not too sure if we're going to end up having time for Catabasis in this video. That might have to be a separate one, but we'll see how we go, because I'm so anxious for answers. But I also wanted to quickly talk about a book I ended up buying today. So I ended up picking up a copy of Samantha Shannon's new book, The Sun Has Gone Away, but this is Among the Burning Flowers. This is a direct prequel to Priory of the Orange Tree, so this kind of follows the uprising of the Draconic Army and the Draconic Plague and how all of that stuff starts. So I'm very excited to see what this is like. This is also a very short one, so I'm gonna decide whether this is something I try and read in September quickly, or whether this is one of the books I take on my holiday with me. I might do a dedicated video talking about my TBR and everything for our trip, because I'm trying to limit the books I take with me because I always tend to overpack for things. And books are a thing I overpack when I go away. And since we're going to 2 different countries and I'm probably going to end up buying lots of souvenirs and snacks and gifts for friends and family, I'm going to need to limit my space. So I will have to decide on that. At least this is a short and small book that I can take, but we will see how we go. Again, like I said, I will talk about this in a dedicated TBR video, talking about all my reading plans for October. But I'm very excited to get to this. I've been reading lots of dragon and pirate books this year, so I'm very excited to add this to my little collection. And it's just nice having another Roots of Chaos book, and I'm very excited. This has also got beautiful illustrations in it. It's illustrated by the same artist who did Elatsoe. I don't remember their name, but I really love the art style. We've also got like character portraits that you can see there, and there is like some more artwork just like scattered throughout the book. I'll see if I can find one because I did flick through it a bit earlier. So you can see that. Probably don't read the text because this is very late in the book, but you can see this artwork and I'm very excited. I can't wait to see what this is like. It is 5 o'clock, so I gotta go feed my cat, and then I'm gonna edit my video and do the rest of my nightly stuff. I don't know if I'm going to film too much tonight. I hate filming at night because the lighting is always so bad and trash. But maybe I'll do a check-in once I get up to page 500. We'll see how we go. Okay, so I finally finished reading Ship of Destiny last night, and oh my god, this was so good. This is by far the best book in this entire trilogy. Like, this whole trilogy is really good, but Ship of Destiny is just on a whole nother level. I loved it so much. I still have so many confusing thoughts about some things. Like, I'm certain now about who Amber truly is, and I feel like that might get revealed to us a bit more when we move on to some other books, but I just had a really good time with this. I'm going to be talking about some spoilery things, so I'll put a timestamp to skip ahead if you don't want spoilers on it if you haven't read it. But this was just absolutely insane and perfect in the best ways. I was really not expecting everything to come together as it did in the end, and it was just so infuriating, with especially the things that Kenneth did to Althea. It was just disgusting and made me really sick and mad, and I am so glad he died and Kyle died, because holy fuck, I love this book so much. There were so many moments where I was crying, so many books where I was like near screaming with anger, and then so many books that I was just like grinning and cheesing, and it was just it was so good. I'm so glad all the characters ended up being fine by the end of this. I heard this was going to be really emotionally devastating. It was in its own way, but really not as much as I thought, which I am glad about, because I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what happened. I still really wasn't expecting the rape and assault with Althea. That was really a lot to read, and I really did struggle with that. But it was just... this whole trilogy is just absolutely incredible. The ending just made me so happy, and I'm so glad we kind of got the whole big resolve in spring and got to see everyone later on, and it was just Oh, I'm so sad we don't have anything more with these characters that I know of. I really hope that they return in some later books because there is now capacity for there to be overlaps between the Cursed Shores and the Six Duchies. So I'm really excited to see if anything does end up happening in the other books because I would love to see a lot of these characters return. Like, I loved Malta's character in the end so much. Just the growth and the changes she went through. It was heartbreaking but beautiful at the same time. Like, I hate that she had to go through everything in these books and getting like held captive and all this stuff in order to grow up, but I am kind of glad she did grow up in the end, and she's just such a really good character now, so I'd love to go back to her. And same with Althea and Brashen. I really would love to see where they end up going, so I'm hopeful that there will be more in the other books in the realm of the Elderlings, but I'm uncertain. But I did really just enjoy this, and I'm so happy I finally finished this trilogy. This was a long time coming. These books are 900 pages each, so I'm very glad that I did finally get around to finishing it. It didn't take me as long as I thought it would, which is good. I was kind of trying to rush through it. Or not rush through it. I was trying to read it a lot quicker than I have the other ones because I wanted it done before the end of September. But I just had such a good time with this. I'm so sad it's over, but I'm very excited to delve into a trilogy from the Fool's perspective. I can't wait to go back and just... this was so beautiful. But I had originally planned to read Catabasis next, but I don't really think I'm in the mood for it. It's also almost the end of September now. It is the 27th, and I would like to try and finish 2 more books. I know it really doesn't matter in the scheme of things how many books I read a month, but I would like to try and finish 2 more books. And those books I want to finish, which I'll be going through in this vlog, Ghost Cities. This is by Xiang Lu. This is an Australian author. He's Australian Chinese, I believe. And this is kind of inspired by the vacant uninhabited megacities of China. And I haven't read too much of this, but what I have read is really funny and hilarious. I'm 36 pages in, I'm just on chapter 7. So I'm really excited and intrigued to see where this goes. But in this we follow a man who was working for the Chinese embassy in Sydney, but ends up getting sacked because they find out that he can't actually speak Mandarin and has been using Google Translate. And then he gets offered this job by this really weird film director to go and work and live in this abandoned sort of mega city area that the director is turning into a giant film set. And it sounds really interesting and intriguing, and we've also got chapters that are set in like a different time period, like in historical China. So I'm very intrigued to see how those kind of tie into everything. Like, our first chapter is on an imperial taste tester, so I'm intrigued to see where that goes. But I'm also planning on reading volume 2 of the Apothecary Diaries. I've been thinking about this so much lately, and I just want to read it and yeah, slowly make my way through more of the manga. I'm not too sure if I'm definitely gonna be continuing to buy copies of this, but I just don't know when I'll buy more, so I might switch over to reading it on my phone and reading it digitally as well. But I'm very excited to continue this. But I think I've spoken for enough now. I'm gonna sit down and pick one of these to read. I think I might actually start with Apothecary Diaries and read that first, because I do have a bit of time this morning till I'm seeing people and hanging out with people. And then I think after that, we will move on to more of Ghost Cities and see if I can finish it this weekend. I do have quite the busy weekend, so we'll see how we go, but I'd love to finish both of these for the end of the vlog. So we're just gonna get into the reading now. So I finally ended up finishing Ghost Cities last night and I really enjoyed this. I have very mixed thoughts on it still. I think this is a book I would definitely reread just because I feel like there's so many other things I will pick up on. But the way that everything kind of came together and connected in the end of this was really interesting to see, and I loved seeing the connections between this kind of modern day time period and the Imperial China time period. It was just really weird and interesting and hilarious and something I really enjoyed and think a lot of people will like. I had a really good time with this. I don't think it's my favorite book ever, but I did really enjoy it. It was a pretty solid 4 stars. It's just very interesting and entertaining, and I loved the writing and the discussions on literature and kind of like being under constant surveillance, I guess. It was a really intriguing book and just one that I had a good time with. So I'm very glad I did end up finishing this before I go away, because it means I'll have a bit more time to read some other books. But yeah, so I think we're just going to call the reading vlog here now. I did end up reading another book today, but we're not going to talk about it here because I forgot to film anything of it. But I will be back with some more videos soon, and stick around because I will be trying to vlog my trip to Japan and Korea and see if we can get some stuff from that. But that is it for the rest of this video. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.